Hey everybody and welcome. So here is LG Velvet 5G AT&T model. We have finally got Android 11 for the phone. So we have improvements to the desktop mode and a lot of goodies now. And we have an official name calling of the screen technology. Screen Plus. So they're not using a experimental mode as they did in Android 10. It's actually official desktop mode in a sense. There's still quite a lot of bugs, and I'm going to be talking about pretty much about that. One of the key things that I've noticed is that if you use a 6-button configurative mouse like this, Bluetooth or wired or anything like that, you're going to notice that your phone turns on when you're pushing the back button, even though you're utilizing the desktop mode. Yeah, it's stupid. Same thing with using a controller or playing games in Geforce Now, and you push a button like this, you notice your phone turns on its screen, even though you're playing on this. It's completely stupid. So, my recommendation, if you ever do this, if you play hardcore gaming or anything on, or heavy intensive web browsing or gaming with a gamepad or Geforce Now, any kind of streaming device with a keyboard, I would say turn your phone screen all the way to 0 brightness and turn the screen timeout all the way to the maximum as you can, 10 minutes, 15, whatever. That way you don't have any issues, because when it turns off, not only does it sputter the icons, like it flashes sometimes, the icons will like a bit, but if it turns off while you're in an intense game or so forth, it needs time for it to return on. So if I click this once on the back key, it won't go back. It has to turn on the screen, then I can click the back button. The same thing with the gamepad. If the screen turns off and I'm waiting for I'm just like sitting there and some random person surprises me and starts attacking me, and I try and react, it's going to be like, nope, 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 okay, I'm on, yeah, okay, let's go. I'm pretty much dead by then. So yeah, that's why I would say turn the screen brightness to 0 so you don't have screen burn-in issues, and turn the screen timeout all the way to the maximum timeout ability as possible. That way, every time you're playing, you don't have it just time out randomly, and then you have to push the button like 50,000 times for it to freaking re-enable. It's like, okay, there we go. But we basically got the same thing as we have for Android 10. We still have the same icon layout, which we can't change. Everything will just go bloop, 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 like that. And we still have the same icons on the bottom of the screen, except we have one icon here that is for screenshot. That's it. None of the icons over here are clickable besides the screenshot icon. And then we still have the same icons over here with the back, home, and app drop-down list of applications. That's the same thing and the same issue where if you have an application up and you put the application drop-down list open, it's not going to minimize that and then re-enable it when you click out. It's still going to have it where the application blocks pretty much everything of your viewpoint of clicking other applications. It's pretty stupid. Now, a thing I noticed with Android 10, I'll get to the Screen Plus settings for a second after. But on Android 10, there was an issue about the developer options, where this force activities to be resizable wasn't actually working on Android 10, but it works now on Android 11. So for Geforce Now, for instance, this, as you can see on the icons, this doesn't have that icon in the middle right here, where this has the full screen icon. And that full screen icon actually means this is also resizable by native. So this is natively resizable, so I don't have to have the activity thing enabled for it to be resizable. So this is natively resizable because it also has this full screen icon right there. But this doesn't have that full screen icon there, so this is not natively resizable. So without that enabled in developer options, you couldn't do this, where you can actually resize it. On Android 10, even though that was enabled in the developer options, it still didn't have the ability to resize it. And we also get enable freeform size captain, which also means that if some games don't support true Windows option, it wouldn't let you actually like move the window. Like it would actually just pop up the window here and be stuck. Even though you can change the size and everything, it wouldn't let you actually move it. Even though you could click it, it just wouldn't let you actually move it around. So now we have that option there. Now let's go back to Screen Plus options. Now this is actually independent from the phone. So the screen timeout actually has screen timeout for the desktop system itself. It's not actually a part of the phone. So don't think this is actually going to time out your phone ability. So don't put it at like 1 to 2 minutes and think, okay, yeah. This is actually only the timeout for the desktop mode itself. And then you have on-screen keyboard. So you can put this on your phone or monitor if you don't have a Bluetooth keyboard, but I have one there, and it's Bluetooth keyboard, so if it turns off, it's not going to have a keyboard thing show up here. It'll only show up on the phone, so it's not distracting. And then when I put the Bluetooth keyboard back enabled, it turns off that and lets me type. And then always use touchpad. You really don't need to use that if you have the Bluetooth mouse enabled. You can leave that off, but this basically turns it so your screen in desktop mode for your phone will always use a touchpad, the touchpad option when Screen Plus is enabled. And that's it. So in display options, most of these are grayed out, but you can still go into screen timeout. And again, like I said, turn this all the way up to the max if you do play games or you do intensive browsing with clicking back and forwards all the time on your mouse, because your screen will turn off all the time when you have a lower setting. And make sure you have your brightness all the way dimmed down, because that will make it so you don't have screen burn-in issues for a long period of time when your screen is always on. But most of the time when you're not doing that, gaming or using the back and forward buttons, your screen will basically be off, and it's fine. That's cool. But in those situations, yeah. Oh, and another thing. Back onto the closing applications ability. Now you can see there's the icon down below here. And when I close the application by the X, it actually seems to disappear. And you think, okay, yeah, it disappears. It's actually gone. It's turned off. Not true. And this is what Samsung Dex actually accommodated with their system. That's why they have a fourth button icon down the left side, is that you can actually, on their ability, you can actually go through the desktop system itself and force close all background tasks that are on standby mode. This, on the Screen Plus ability for LG, you can't do that. The only way to actually close all background standby tasks is by using the phone, by turning the phone on, using the square icon, and then closing all applications. So this, you can't do that. So even though it looks like it's theoretically closed, it's actually not really closed fully. And then you probably notice that I have a variety of browsers here. Now, I've been doing a little looking around to see what works for what and what's best for the what. And right now, I've seemed to find that Firefox actually runs great for desktop and for best ad blocker blocking for video playback on YouTube. and you can full screen. The only problem is when you full screen, no matter if you use a streaming service like Netflix or Amazon Prime or such forth, you will still have, even though full screened option, you will still have the bar icon on top, and also the taskbar will still be shown on the bottom. It's obnoxious, but yeah. So Firefox is the best for YouTube streaming and everything like that. Even for Discord on desktop ability browser mode, it works the best. It doesn't have the same desktop feel as Edge and Chrome does, but it's workable. That's really nice. The problem with Edge, though, is that it doesn't like full screen. Even in windowed mode, if it's in windowed mode and you enable the, I'll show you here. So here's a fun little auto video. So you can go theater mode and all that stuff, and that works fine. But if you go into full screen, even though it's in window mode, it's not actually going to go across the full screen of the thing. You actually have to do it this way, and then actually full screen it to actually full screen all the way to the entire thing. So when you do it from window mode like this, it only does this, and it also does this. Yeah. So Edge crashes when you do full screen. Now Chrome doesn't, but I haven't found an option to enable some kind of ad blocker for Chrome browser. Only Edge. And yeah. So I have Opera also, and that has a native ad blocker built into it. But it doesn't like the desktop mode for YouTube ability. But in mobile browsing system, it actually works fine. But just not desktop. Yeah, it's kind of funky. So the best browser most of the time for this LG desktop ability is Firefox. Straight up. It works flawlessly across everything. It doesn't have the same desktop feel as Edge and Chrome does, where it has that more kind of Windows kind of feel. But, I mean, the Firefox is decent. Now, the desktop Discord ability is still in mobile ability. So you don't get the full desktop feel of Windows desktop Discord. That's why you mainly want to play it on a browser ability, and Firefox does it fantastically. You will not be able to, though, do screen sharing as that you can do for Windows or even on the mobile Discord ability. And even if you do mobile Discord and open that, this is on any desktop mode for phones or tablets that are on an external display. You cannot video stream this whatsoever. The only way you can stream this only currently works for Samsung devices at the moment, because they have their Samsung S tablets that have internal Dex mode that allows the Dex system to be internally broadcasted on the actual tablet itself. That's the only way you can stream mobile Discord screen sharing on Discord. But if you stream your screen and you try and stream this, it's not going to work. It only streams on the phone screen itself, and that's the problem. So hopefully Discord will probably make an option for mobile users to be able to switch that in the near future. I'm really hoping for that feature, because that will be really epic for phone users to be actually switch from the phone to the external monitor and be like, yeah, there we go. As for games, again, like I said, you can use your controller if you have an Xbox controller system, 360, Xbox One. Everything works. How does it work? You're probably all wondering. So I'm going to go to a game that actually only runs for Gamepad, because if I try and use mouse or keyboard with this, it doesn't work. And wow, that's going to give me a login issue. That's nice. Thank you. I'm not going to do that. How annoying. So, I guess it's not letting me log in. So I guess we can't test that feature. Thank you, Path of Titans. So, I'm going to have to log in later and yeah. But Path of Titans is still working on their controller system, but it does actually work for the Xbox One controller, just not the Elite. I know everybody's been like trying to connect their Elite and they've been having issues, but yeah, the Xbox One normal controller works fine. Everything works smooth, and even on LG mode or Samsung Dex, it works fantastically. You just can't use the keyboard or mouse ability in general. Even if you try and use the keyboard, it doesn't work. Although there is a glitch at the moment, hopefully it will be later addressed when they actually support keyboard functionality in mobile platform. It turns it into a green outline on your windows. Even if you're using keyboard on your phone, it will still do the same thing. So it's really obnoxious. And again, the mouse icon doesn't work either on Dex or LG. And I can't even close the window on LG, as you saw. So I had to use my phone to be able to shut it down. But Equus, Second Galaxy, most games can be resized and actually played fantastically. But some games like Perfect World Mobile won't support Gamepad, and they don't support. You can use. I think you can use your mouse, but I mean, you can't use keyboard and mouse. So you can only like click around with your mouse. I think. I forget. And that's just like, yeah, no. Eve Echoes is the same thing. You can't use keyboard and mouse, and you can't use gamepad, but you can use your mouse. Just your mouse. I mean, you can use your keyboard when you do chatting, but you can't use it to activate a key or activate a weapon or something like that. You can only use your mouse to touch that, and open that, and do that. Basically, same thing for Second Galaxy. It's only supported by the mouse unless you use for chatting ability. That's it. So, most games will allow you to use the mouse, but other than that, you really can't use most of that ability. I mean, if you had dual mouse somehow, that would be awesome. I mean, use two mouses at the same time. Woohoo! But that's not supported on any device I've seen, so yeah. So that's most of the features that are quite an issue with this system. But it's not bad. I mean, it's workable, but there's quite a few hitches, like I said. So Screen Plus is nice, but there's some stuff that not a lot of people will like. It's better than it was in Android 10, I will have to say. And having the ability to have the phone completely off if you're not doing, gaming or using the back and forward touch ability on your mouse or playing Geforce Now, it works. And you don't have to have your screen on. That's cool. There is also one problem that I would like to mention before I end this. And that is, I am using my Samsung Dex station for this phone dock right now. And I have it connected with a USB hub that has a wired keyboard and a wireless mouse dongle connected to it. And Now it's in wireless dongle mode for this mouse. There's no mouse icon. So if you have a Samsung Dex device station and you use an LG model, it's not going to work for any of the peripheral USB ports. But if you have a different USB hub system that's USB-C to an actual hub itself, that will probably work. Although I don't have a third-party hub system like that to try, so you'll have to try it yourself. But most of the times you can just use Bluetooth. Bluetooth keyboard, mouse, controller, everything works like that. One last thing also to note is for a lot of users that are wondering about this, and that is, does this have the same issue as Samsung Dex? Can I get my mouse on here? Hello? Where's my mouse? There we go. Is if I have where's Chrome? More than 5 applications open at the same time. And that is, yes, it does. So let me get this going. And then, oh wait, what was up? So now I have 5 applications open. Let's bring up Second Galaxy. Oh, there, it just shut down that. So, if I have more than 5 applications open, the oldest of the 5 will be minimized for the 6th application. So, yes, this still has the same limitation as Samsung Dex if you do not have a Samsung Dex station or pad. Sadly, you can't override this version on LG because they don't have an actual dedicated dock that enables or unlocks that and has a built-in fan. And if you're wondering, oh well, maybe I can just use the Samsung Dex station like you're doing, or maybe the Samsung Dex pad because it's got a built-in fan, so yeah, I'm using a Dex station right now and no, it doesn't work like I said. And another thing is, even though you do have it in a Samsung Dex station or pad, or even the new Motorola dock, which also has a built-in fan, none of those will work to cool the phone down over heating issues on an LG phone because they are programmed and designed for their Pacific phone platform. Samsung will not have their fan cooling system activate on a non-Samsung device phone. So if I have my LG phone plugged into the Samsung dock station and I'm running super hot intensive tasks, it's not going to activate the thermal cooling fan for the phone because it doesn't have that detective software built into the phone that a Samsung phone does. So you're not going to get that cooling effect because even though it does have a fan, it doesn't have the programmed device to actually have the fan detect on the phone. So you will run into that issue. So you'll have to just be limited to 5 applications and just use a third-party fan system to cool down your phone if you use on heavy tasks. And another thing is with the Samsung Dex pad and station plus Motorola's new ready for dock station, they all require the phones to not have the case on. And that is the biggest reason for thermal cooling because the cold air blows onto the glass case and that cools down the internal phone because the glass actually absorbs that cooling effect. If it had a case, it blows onto the case only, and that doesn't absorb into the phone. So that's why these docks actually do not allow you to have a case on them, because the thermal cooling effect won't work. I know a lot of people also have used extender wire connections to have it plugged into their Dex pad or their Dex station, and then just had their phone laying around with an extended cable from USB-C to USB-C, and just get the unlock feature ability like that. But you won't get the thermal cooling because, again, it's not going to be with the fan to get that thermal cooling effect blowing on the phone. And if you're wondering, does that actually work? A fan blowing onto the back of the the phone's glass case? And yes, it does. I've had over 4 applications of games, browser, Discord, video watching, playback, everything functioning all at the same time for a Samsung Dex station, and it's kept the phone under warmth of heat ability, under super load like that, and everything was on pretty much max graphics. So yes, it does work. But you won't get that for LG, sadly. But for Motorola and for Samsung devices, you will. I'm not sure about Huawei's system, because I don't think they have a dock, but if they do, then hooray. But yeah. And if you're also wondering, does this apply to the tablets on Samsung devices? I can't put my tablet inside of a Samsung Dex station or pad. No, it actually doesn't. Since this tablet has a much more bigger area for cooling of the thermal conductivity of the heat, it doesn't need as much cooling effect as the phone does, because the phone is actually crammed in a small place with so much chips. And I just knocked my phone a bit. So that doesn't require a fan to keep itself cool that much, because it has more area of effect to have more area to heat up. So it doesn't have to be in a cramped small place to have that fan enabled. So for the tablet versions on Samsung devices, for the Tablet S series, you have it unlocked. Those abilities you have unlocked. I think on the Fold, you also have it unlocked because it has a much more bigger platform. But on the standard Note and S Galaxy phones, you require the fan station to actually unlock the 5's application limiter and be having better thermals. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Peace out and have fun gaming! Woo!